a little bit more about what's coming up and just how the process of all this stuff. And you got a countdown
Hello.
going on? What's going on, Jim?
I've got a countdown. I've got a
Oh.
countdown to the Carrack. It's been a little bit of time coming, Crucian. You've got no fucking idea. We have been at this model for, I think, longer than I've been alive. That's how it feels to me right now. It's been a journey. It's been an interesting journey, but it is finally over. We are under a day. We are launching it tomorrow, so it's all good. It is all good.
Yo,
Epic.
let's start this interview with the scale model. Can we get that up there? Because I don't think people understand how beautiful this thing looks, man. Sorry, I said 1 to 600. Sorry, it's 1 to 500 kit model. As you guys can see on the screen, it's gonna be incredible. You'll be able to paint it. I'm telling you, when I purchased from JRD and FJR, I got the number 3 Cyclone, but I got number 16 because that's my favorite number. And I built it, and I just need to paint it. But it's like, you guys do things with such quality, and I know this one's gonna be just as good quality as when I got my Cyclone. So can you tell us like the process of you making these model kits?
To sort of truncate it fairly short, we extract a certain amount of models from the data pack file, from the game file. We don't get anything specific from CIG.
Oh, wow.
Not because they wouldn't give us it, there just isn't anything to give us. All they have is the data, like the stuff we get. Because their pipeline builds all their ship effectively in engine, which saves them a huge amount of time, building these ships for game. There is no high poly model, with stuff for us to go at. So
Yeah.
we take that model, we put all the weapon components and all the internal components back together. We then have to fix all the geometries and then put all the texturing on, put all the panel lining on, and then split the model up to make it a buildable, printable kit model. So all told, the Carrack, we are probably 7-8 months into the Carrack now.
Wow.
From starting the project, obviously there's a huge amount of licensing, application stuff. There's a lot of art that has to get done. We have a fantastic team of contractors, that sort of behind the scenes doing all the artwork and stuff. We have in this one, just to give you an idea, a 38-page booklet.
Wow.
Of really cool artwork, some really cool lore stuff, and then obviously actual instructions about how you build these things. So we've really gone overboard to a degree with how good all the all that kind of stuff is. We have lovely packaging.
Your packaging is
Haskell.
beautiful, by the way.
The packaging is getting
incredible.
good. And I say, so tomorrow we launch this kit, 19 hours, 46 minutes, 10 seconds. It's not just one kit, it's actually 2. So there's the Anvil, Carrack, and the Expedition. Difference being that they have different colored canopies. So we've got sort of like clear cast canopies with the bridge cast inside it, so you can even see like the pilot seats and the mezzanine deck and everything in that canopy. So they're colored correct, and all the artwork is different, the instruction booklets are different. But the first 10 people that successfully order the kit tomorrow night, like you had, get their custom lasered boxes. So they get their name and the number on it, and everything on the box. So the first 10 people for each of the kits, for the Carrack and the Expedition, will have that. So that's the Expeditions one as well. So I mean, as I say, there's an awful lot of work that goes into these things, and we are really proud of this one. We've pushed this one further than we've ever pushed them before. With the new booklets, with the better artwork. This is the first one where we've really done clear casted pieces with sort of things cast inside them to get that kind of 1 to 500 sort of detail going with it. So this one's been a challenge. We put out the 1 to 500 dioramas a few months ago. So there's the Cutlass Red, Cutlass Black, Freelancer, Freelancer Dirt, Freelancer Max, Pisces set, and Arrow sets. To go alongside the Carrack. So finally we have this scale where people can actually collect the whole fleet. We are going for every single ship in game at 1 to 500. Because realistically we're never going to be able to do that on the other scales. We've got the 1 to 40 scales for the Cyclones and the Dragonflies and all that kind of stuff. We really want to do all the ground vehicles eventually in 1 to 40. We have the 1 to 100s for the fighters. And sort of those small combat ships. Interesting, we did do the did do the Nova tank on that trophy in 1 to 100. Like you said
100,
before,
okay.
that's not a kit model. That's something we did specifically for these trophies. And 1 to 100 just seemed to work really well. It fitted on the same sort of diorama base size. He's got it there.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I swear I didn't touch
Jealous.
it. I just took photography. I didn't touch it.
You
It's pristine. I
didn't
just want to
touch
make sure.
but yeah, no. So it fitted really nice on the base in 1 to 100. So we went for that scale for the trophy. I do feel that I think maybe next year we might just need a sort of burning tonk and a cyclone, and then just a guy standing with a railgun standing on
Oh,
top.
wow.
After today,
Because
yes.
yeah, I mean, let's be honest. just a guy with a railgun.
A
I mean,
railgun, yeah.
that is yeah. I think it's been fun to watch though. It has been really fun to watch. It's been a good year.
JR, I'm not gonna lie. I love hearing you talk about the process and everything. It just gets me so hyped, and I like, everybody that was like, "Oh, give Carrick." Carrick is in the game now. You need it in real life, so make sure when
Exactly.
his countdown is done, make sure you guys go grab those Carricks, because I know that JRD+F only makes a limited amount, JR, and then after that's
Yes.
gone, it's over. You can't get it anymore.
It's
Yeah,
500, I think, right?
It is. We only make 500 of all our kit models. So we have the dioramas, which aren't limited, but the actual kit models we do are limited to a run of 500. Now that's not when you see a lot of other sort of like limited edition merchandise stuff.
Yep.
That's like their first run, and like the Cyberpunk stuff, they did 2,077 of them, but then they did another 2,077, then another 2,077 of them, and it's like that's not what we've really come into this to do. People ask why we do them as a limited edition, and partly it's so that we can spread the design costs over a sort of like known quantity of models, but also, I don't know if anyone's noticed, Star Citizen has a fucking massive lot of ships in it. And it's just like Ben is still making PJ and Ben and John Crew are still making ships faster than I can make them into models. So I have like zero fucking chance of ever catching up with them. So if we did more than 500, so if like the Arrow, for example, we're nearly down to our last 150 of the arrows in this run.
Wow.
So we're about to number 350 sold now. So we're currently in the process of printing the remaining 150, so that we've got the very last arrows will be on the shelf. And if we just carried on making them forever, because we have 7 printers now, we're probably getting an 8th one soon, but we have a limited amount of space and sort of like personnel resources to throw at the kit model sort of side of our business. If we didn't stop making the models after a certain point, we wouldn't be able to do any new ones, because we wouldn't have any space in the production to make new ones. So it'll get to the stage where they have to start selling out for us to make new ones, because there's only so much room to produce stuff. So that's our main reason. If there was only like 5 ships in Star Citizen, then we probably wouldn't have limited them. But because there are so many, even if you think if we made 500 of every ship in Star Citizen, extrapolated to the point where we catch up with Cloud Imperium on the ship, that's still an infinite amount of ships in my opinion. It's just like I don't think I'll ever catch up with them. So it's I don't feel that it's a limited thing. It's just a case of this is the amount of time you have to get this one particular ship, and then I'm not doing it again because I've moved on to the next 20 of them. So that's what. And realistically, going forward, we will be doing less kit models probably in the sort of like in the years to come, because we've had effectively 2 years off because of COVID, sitting in our workshop just making models. Events have started. We've already done our first live event stuff. So we will inherently have less time to put into these kits now going forward. So they will become even a little bit more and more exclusive going forward.
Get your kid before you can't get any more.
Indeed, and I'm really looking forward to Fight or Flight. I'm looking forward to doing yet another trophy for you guys.
Yes.
I'm looking.
I'll
Send to you. Absolutely. Well, it's not as far to post it, so that's fine.
Exactly.
I still think. Well, I know my favorite trophy is still the Daymond Rally trophy.
Yes.
Partly because it's the first one we did, partly because we built the furnace to make it and all that kind of stuff. But there is just a certain amount of they're the ones I'm most proud of, because that was the most exciting different thing we've sort of done for you guys. So I'm hoping we'll try and top it with Fight or Flight. I'm not quite sure how we do that, but it'd be nice to come up with something different, because we've done a different kind of trophy for every event now. So yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to do something completely new, which would be great. But the Hurston Hurt Locker trophies are still probably my second favorite in the whole thing, just because I love the paint schemes. I love the fact we've got the sort of diorama base a little bit more accurate to Magda this year, and yeah, they're just nice and wrecked. Fully painted diorama models are just fantastic. So yeah, no complaints on these ones.
So back to your models being limited. So I think Carrack owners are a bit lucky here with JRDF, because it's 500 models for the Carrack, right? And then 500 other models for the Carrack Expedition, right? So you have 1,000.
Yes. Yeah, so, and it's interesting when people have asked, like, well, why have you done both? Because it's just a paint scheme, and it is an interesting thing that, and this is a thing that I sort of like puzzled over when we first started doing these things, because it's like there are so many ships, so many vehicles, the rest of it. We kind of had to come up with our own internal rules. That was like the 500 limited run. Like these are rules that we're like sticking to ourselves. They're rules that we've imposed on ourselves, not imposed on by CIG. And one of the things we said, right? Okay, we will do a separate kit model for every SKU in game, rather than doing something like the Cyclone, for example, which has like a very much a core part to that model, the way it's built in game with modules. We could have done a Cyclone, and then you would buy like the extra bits to go on it, or it would come as like the stock Cyclone, as like the transport pickup truck Cyclone, and then you'd buy those extra things on top.
Right.
But we decided when we started looking at it and looking at the costings of it, if you're going to build a model of a Cyclone, taking the Cyclone for an example, you know which Cyclone you're going to buy. So no matter how you did it, you'd end up spending more money buying one bit and then an extra bit to go on it, and then once you've glued it and painted it, you can't convert it back to to another variant. Exactly. So it's just like, no, we're going to do a separate kit model for every SKU in game. So when it came to things like the Carrack Expedition and the Carrack are different SKUs in game. It's not just a paint scheme in game. So we have done them as two separate models. Now it turns out that in this case, the only difference is basically we have a glass element. If I can get it on camera, we have a glass element that's basically all the windows of the Carrack, so people can light the inside, and all the windows will light up, and obviously the canopy at the front. Now they have a tint to them, so the standard Carrack has a very slight blue tint, and the Expedition has the more pronounced red tint to it. So like genuinely, that is the only difference in the kit models themselves. Those two pieces are the only difference, because that's the only difference you see at 1 to 500. Now the internals of it and things like that, I think currently are identical in game, but we don't know. When we get the gold pass, those innards may change on the two ships. We also have the cargo modules. All the cargo modules on this model drop off on magnets, so there can be interchange later on with new pods that come out later on down the line. Again, the Expedition may end up with different pods. We don't know this, and this is another thing that we always come across. Is like, oh well, what if they change stuff? It's like, do you guys want us to wait until the game is completely finished before I can start making the models? No, I'm never going to be able to catch up. So at the end of the day, we've got to go out this with got a realistic head on. We have the opportunity to make these models. We're going to be at it for an awfully long time to try and even get close to a decent proportion of the models in the game. So we just kind of have to go at it with the expectation that yes, some things may change on stuff. We're in contact with Ben Curtis and JC, so we'd never go after a model that is going to have imminent serious changes to it. We may end up following the gold pass a little bit now that has definitively started. We might start going, right, okay, I'm going to wait for ships to have their gold passes now, because some things that may work with, and we have other things like I say we're trying to sort of like tear through all the 1 to 500 small ships as the dioramas. We're not too worried about those, because the size of things you see on a 1 to 500 arrow, even if they change quite a lot of the component bays and all that, you're never going to see it on a model that's an inch long. It's just a little diorama piece. You're not going to, so I'm not worrying about it. We're currently working on the MSR, so we have first test prints of the MSR.
I was going to say MSR when?
Yeah, MSR when? MSR very soon.
Whoa, that's not an FA Lightning. Yeah,
it's not an FA Lightning, but it's quite nice. So this is this is a large diorama. It's not a full kit model. It's not really big enough for that. But this sits really nice alongside the Carrack. So we're working on this and the Gladius, Buccaneer, Saber, Vanguard,
F8 Lightning.
and not the F8 Lightning. No, it didn't come up. It didn't come up. No, I know, right? And we're also doing the C2 Hercules.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
These are all in the pipeline for this year. Whether they will be completely like the work has started on them in this quarter, so we will either see them before Christmas or just in the new year. Certainly things like the MSR and the dioramas will be well out in the next couple of months. So we're trying to up the production. We've just signed a lease on a new big workshop, which is just down the road, which is very exciting. Which should mean that you guys are going to see a lot more big builds from us. Over the next 12 months, because we're finally moving out of our current workshop, which is effectively a double garage, into a 4,000 square foot proper warehouse workshop building that we can build. You can fit a full-size Gladius in it. So
next Citizen Con, we're gonna see we're gonna be inside a C2 Hercules, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not quite that big.
It's not gonna fly, but you can get in. You know.
We could get a full-size Argo into. We were quite interested, but it does mean that it gives us a lot more opportunity for making bigger set pieces for Cloud Imperium and other companies. And yeah, I'm so hungry to get back to events, guys. I have put on so much weight sitting at my desk playing with models. It's not good for a person. It really isn't. And it's just like, I need to get back out to events. I just need to. And I would love to see HURSTON Hurtlocker or Daymond Rally live at an event like Gamescom, CitizenCon. Actually see people in a proper arena setup, playing these tournaments live in front of an audience would just be amazing. Really,
I think if people think I'm hyped now, just catch me.
We're gonna have to put reins on you. If you had a live event, we're gonna have to tie you down with ratchet straps, just to a podium, just to hold you down.
I may not even need a microphone at that point.
I think you might be right.
Oh man, it's just like when. I think the energy is completely different in person. Right now, I love everybody here, but having a private server down in person where everybody's just connected to each other, and you probably won't even see any desync or anything crazy because we're all just connected to one private LAN server, and then we can see everything a lot clearer. Having actually ships there spectating. Oh man, that's just
absolutely.
That's a dream.
I mean, Maya will remember back in Gamescom 2017 when we had that private server on the stand. There was no crashes on that. Oh no, wait. There was a few. It was 3.0. It was the first bit of 3.0, but it was quite interesting to actually play Star Citizen on a LAN server.
Yeah,
because it was difficult to compare it because we were playing 3.0 for the very first time, so we didn't really have something to compare it against. But actually being able to do an event like that, being able to get camera feeds from all the competitors, but without them being able to see each other's camera feeds, because obviously you're on a big screen above, so you got no stream sniping. It makes that lot of live esports events so different to internet ones. You've got no desync, you've got no computers and routers crashing at the last minute. Maya, you were robbed. Sorry, it's just
Jesus. Jesus.
Thank you.
I know, man.
Hey, let's get the Carrack up one more time, because I want people to see, man, this stuff. This stuff is there's so much work that goes into it, guys. So please make sure you guys go check out grfabrication.co.uk. Make sure you guys, again, JR, if you want to say when it's coming out, you guys only have 500 left, but people need to know this is some high quality kit models, okay? You can possibly go and I'm not saying anything bad, and 3D modeling is not bad, but you can possibly go do that, but it's not gonna come out as the quality that JRD+F does it. I promise you that, because I have my own. And I was very impressed, and I was so happy gluing my fingers together while I was playing and putting it together. It was one of the best times I had on stream to do it with my community and get all that stuff done. It was seriously fantastic. You guys did a great job.
It is good fun. So we launched the Carrack tomorrow. Stream starts, so twitch.tv/JRDesFab. The show starts at 6 p.m. UTC, and we'll be launching the Carrack at 7 p.m. UTC. So yeah, come along. Sort of watch us launch the Carrot. Try and get him the sort of first 10. Get your personalized boxes for free. We'll then do probably about a month or 6 weeks later. We will do a live build along tutorial.
Ooh, awesome.
We tend to try and do that sort of like a month, 6 weeks after we launch a kit, so people are gonna have got it, get it shipped over to them, and then if they want to build along with us for this one is quite magnet heavy. There's so much interchangeability on the ship because
What's so cool about it, though? Yeah.
I know, and it's all its scanner arrays. We have them deployed and undeployed, all the landing gear deployed and undeployed, all the cargo pods. The forward ramp, can be deployed, and it has a little Ursa rover that comes up at the hangar, and there's so much magnets on this thing. So if you've never put magnets in the model, all the magnets come with it, but you might want to watch
That's
it tutorial to see how it goes together. And like anything, we know our kits are not cheap. We have a lot of FAQs onto why they're the price they are, and I promise you, we're not ripping anyone off here. That this is just the price it takes to build these things. And but one of the things we do is we do offer a free spare parts policy for all of our customers. So we don't want you guys to be afraid to build our models. We want you to go at it, and if it goes terribly wrong, just let us know what happened, and we'll send you all new bits, and you can put it all back together again. Because
That's awesome.
there are a lot of people that have really want a Star Citizenship, never done kit building before, and it's like we're the only way they have at getting a model, but they're too afraid to build it, so they buy it and they leave it on the shelf, and it looks lovely in its box because the artwork's so nice, but it'd be better if it was built. So we desperately want people to actually not only buy but build our models, and we have a makers Discord server and free spare parts tutorials to try and get to help people down the process of building them as well.
And
awesome.
it's absolutely incredible. I'm always mind blown talking to you, and I know the love and stuff that you guys put behind this, and like I bought myself, I'll buy another one, but I think you guys need to do a tutorial on how to paint this stuff, because I suck at painting this stuff. Like, it's so hard for me to figure out. Like, I know I got to buy like a spray pen and do this and do that, but like if you guys can do a tutorial of like how to paint this stuff, because I'm just bad. Like, I've never done like the other mech games where everybody paint their little mechs and things like that. I haven't done any
yeah,
of that,
I must admit, I am not a fantastic painter either. I choose to go down the sort of Star Trek-y route, sort of like behind Jean-Luc Picard had this amazing display in First Contact, of all the metal ships. So I tend to do a metallic with like an ink wash on mine, and because we've physicalized all the details and the panel lines and all that kind of stuff, all the the inks go into it really nicely and pick out all that detail, and it's all one color, so you can't really fuck it up. You don't have to mask it or anything. You just go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we really do need to do some decent painting tutorials. Brett, who painted the HURSTON Hurt Locker trophies, he's offered to do them for me, so I will take him up on it, because I think I've avoided it because I can't do it, because I can't paint either.
He did a great job. So shout out to him, yeah.
I love the Nova Tank skin as well. We just let him go have at it. You knew the color scheme for for Atmo Esports is like just go for it. Just have some fun with it. And he's just like, yeah, it looks so good. Love the skin.
We had I think the Arginator was like, it's a salamander.
Yeah, yeah. It is so good.
Oh man. But anyways, any last questions here, Meyer?
So I think last time I asked you this question, I said, if you could do or make anything for CIG, for a convention or otherwise, what would it be? And you said that you would love to make a convention center floor that was like one of the pods of the Caterpillar, and then you'd have people game inside it. Has that changed? Like, you're getting a big studio in the future, like a.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've obviously got. We can't say anything at the moment, but we're obviously sort of like working with CIG on their new, on their new office plans and stuff, which is really, really exciting. And obviously future events, especially Manchester-based ones. I would still love to do an internal of a ship, big enough to get to get a lot of people in it. I don't know whether the Caterpillar still works really well from a size metric for like certainly a Gamescom event or a CitizenCon event. I would be tempted with the internal of a C2 Hercules or a Starfarer. We'll have to see, but yeah, I think that is genuinely still my sort of like end goal of building an internal space, an internal set, effectively, that can be completely enclosed. That's not so gigantic it's impractical for an event, but to
Right.
have wall, ceiling, everything of one space inside a ship that people could go in and experience that really immersive experience. I really hope we can do something like that for Squadron, so that people can go into either a derelict or a Vandal ship or something like
Argo would
that.
be perfect.
Yeah.
That kind of really immersive experience of perhaps the PCs are set up in there to test play the game or something like that, but you're just in this environment with the sound and the lighting and the effects and everything, so you really get dragged out the real world and properly cemented into the Star Citizen universe. Would just be fantastic. So I've seen it done at other events for other games, and it's a really beautiful way of really giving the fans that really visceral experience.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
Well, JR, again, always a pleasure to just have you here talking to us, man. So much information, and we cannot wait for this, this character model to come out, guys. Again, tomorrow.
Neither can I.
Yes. Tomorrow, guys. Make sure you guys, show JRD+F some love. If you guys love the character as much as you guys say you love it in game, go grab yourself a model kit, buy a nice shelf, put it on there, do something great with it. But anyways, any last words for the community, for anybody out there?
Just one person in particular. I obviously know it's your favorite ship, Disco. So if you don't buy one, I'm going to be very disappointed in you. You've got to stick to your guns.
The call out, I love it. I love it.
And put that.
I love it, Disco. Hey, the call out, man. Well, thank you so much, JR. We really appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts, man. You're awesome, man. We love having you and Cal's here, a part of this community. Man, we just love the model kits. We love you guys as people. So thank you so much for joining us today and letting us know
Thank
about
you
this,
for having us on, letting us rant on again. And enjoy the final. I can't wait. I can't wait for it. Go for it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Sounds good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Dual Finals is coming up next.